I want to hammer the coaching staff for a lot of the on-ice stuff last night because that was, and ultimately it falls on the players.
Yeah, of course.
Like, this is your job. Go out and do your job. But it's also the coach's job to make sure they come out prepared. But the pregame decision-making, the idea that Morgan Frost, and listen, I get it. He's probably not that good. And we've probably dedicated way too much time to a dude whose ceiling is at best decent 3C. I get it. But if he doesn't fit in the future here, there is, I think, even more responsibility to play this guy. So you can try to get something for him.
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't live up to your standard. After last night, who does?
Yeah.
We're going to be the culture
point.
and identity team. We're going to play with pace. And this is something I wanted to is just pregame. I'm sitting there just thinking about, like, what doesn't Morgan Frost have that other dudes who aren't that good, clearly John Tortorella prefers.
Right.
And I'm not even talking about Noah Cates. Like, Noah Cates is going through a rough stretch right now, but I think last year I learned he's a good player.
Yeah, and we'll actually, to be honest with you, like, Noah Cates was one of the few guys last night where I more than twice said, like, hey, that was a good play.
There was a few nice forechecks on his part. Listen,
he drew that penalty.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Not saying he played well because no one played well, but he at least wasn't as painful to watch as most of the team.
If you get to the puck first behind the net and dish it out front and ain't no one out front, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like, it's 2-on-1 down low. You got the puck. Someone should be there. They weren't. But, like, I'm not even talking about Morgan Cates. I'm just the overall makeup of this team.
You're thinking stylistically.
Stylistically, what is he missing? And I'm just thinking, like, John Tortorella wants Travis Konechny's, where there's no, we're carrying the puck in the zone. Maybe it's 2-on-1. Maybe it's 2-on-2. Maybe it's 2-on-3, whatever. I'm taking it to the net. We're creating the chance now. See how it goes. Aggressive, safe as death, etc. That's the type of pace John Tortorella wants. And stylistically, Morgan Frost is carry it over the blue line and then Jake Voracek it. Pull up at the top of the circle and say, yeah, we might be able to do something now, but think of the play we could make in a minute if we can figure something, like if we can get an even better position. And I just think, is that it in your mind? Is it just that stylistic difference? Like, and this is generalities. I'm just trying to, like, he's a pull up at the top of the circle and wait to see if something develops. And John Tortorella wants guys who make things happen now.
I think there's something to that. I think that, look, one of the big things with Morgan Frost, and this dates back all the way to his junior play, and we've talked about this, I believe, on the show, is that he never, while he's actually a legitimately good skater, especially in juniors, and this was a problem going into the pro game for him, he never played with a ton of pace. His thing was, I'm going to carry the puck into the zone pretty deliberately.
He's deliberate.
I'm going to wait for my options. I'm going to scan the ice because I have really good vision, and then I'm going to find my guy, and we're going to create a quality chance. I think he's tried really hard to play with more pace, to skate faster, not in the sense of having the ability to skate faster, but in the sense of when he's carrying the puck when he's carrying the puck up ice, he has the ability to do it quicker because he knows guys are behind him, putting back pressure on him, and he makes plays. However, that tendency does come out sometimes, and I'm sure that tendency does tick off Tortorella a fair amount because he wants his guys to play with pace. He wants his guys to play with energy. He wants his guys to play with aggressiveness. I also think another part of Frost's game that does frustrate Tortorella, and this is a part of Frost's game that I think frustrates a lot of Flyers fans, particularly the very angry ones on Twitter. He's just not physical. Like, he's not even a little bit physical. And I'm not talking about the, Aristolainen type physicality. Like, Sean Couturier doesn't have many hits. I was just going to say, but he plays a physical game in the sense that he's active in battles. He tries to win pucks. Morgan Frost has that, like, he's a little bit, like, off to the side. He's the guy who's watching the puck battle, hoping it's going to scoot out, and then he can grab the puck and make a play. And I think it's that part of his game, I would guess more than anything else, that irks Torts, because I don't think it's necessarily the worst thing. I don't think every guy has to play this super physically engaged style. But I think Tortorella thinks everybody has to play a physically engaged style.
And I think, like, if you're the best left winger on the team, can you get away being a perimeter guy, maybe not being the most physical guy? Yeah, absolutely. If you are that 3/4 of a point a game guy, if you're going to be a bottom six, and like, okay, maybe he's a second liner, but it doesn't look like it to this point. If you're going to be a third line center, no, you need to have that element of your game. We have to be able to trust you on the penalty kill, which it's not even not even in a conversation about him.
And that's the distinction between Frost and Cates, where Torts can look at Noah Cates and say, on my good team, he's a 3C because he's a penalty killer, because he's engaged, because he's defensively oriented. Is he going to score a ton of points? I think he can score more. I'm speaking in Tortorella's voice. I think he can score more, but no, he's not a point-per-game guy. But I envision him as the 3C on my contending Flyers team. The point I made in the article I wrote yesterday, which was very critical of the decision to scratch Frost again after putting him back in for 4 games, the point I made is that I've always felt that if Morgan Frost is going to fit on this team over the long term, it's going to have to be because he shows he can score so much that you have to find a place for him. That it doesn't matter that he's not the most physical. It doesn't matter that sometimes he's going to turn the puck over when he tries to make a play. Because at the end of the year, you look at the point totals, and he's got 65, 70 every year, and you're like, we deal with it because the guy's so good offensively. Now, some people have made the decision, have made the evaluation that he's never going to be that guy. I think Tortorella has probably made the evaluation that he's never going to be that guy. My opinion is that even though I personally am skeptical that he's ever going to be that guy, I have to acknowledge that last year, he took a big step forward offensively. He made a big jump year over year. He scored more. And this year is supposed to be about finding out what we have in players. My guess is that if you gave Morgan Frost 82 games this season to show that he can take a further leap offensively and turn himself into a 65, 70-point guy, which is the kind of guy I think he needs to be in order to fit on this team long term, my guess is that he would not live up to that. But my point is that why not find out? Like, why not use this year, which, as you've told us, is not about winning?
That's right.
Why not use this year to just confirm your preconceived notion that he's not that guy? Because what's it going to hurt? Like, do you really need to have Ryan Poehling in the lineup? Is it really that important?
They played with so much identity and character last night, Charlie.
Like,
it's important.
Why not find out this year for sure? Because you can say that you don't love the way Morgan Frost plays, but Morgan Frost did, and I know I joke about it sometimes, he did lead the team in scoring in the second half of the season over the final 54, 55 games, whatever. Why not this year find out if that's for real? And if it's not, then at the end of the season, you can, without any real worry, you can then trade him for a mid-round draft pick and feel good that he's not going to be the next Patrick Sharp. But the worst-case scenario here, and this is, I think, what drives a lot of the big Morgan Frost fans, it's not even love of Morgan Frost. It's fear that he's going to be Patrick Sharp.
And